Oh my God, I can't believe I just thought of it. So, Manchester United pretty much are like a carnival. They have their ups, they have their downs. You can have some fun even at the carnival, but if you look really, really closely, it's falling apart, and it's gonna make you sick. Um, and the owners, what can we say about the owners? So, I I mean, just it's such a wild ride to be a Manchester United fan. But again, I think just on instant reaction, if we're just gonna stick to this one game, just for now, there is too many stats that kind of scream out that they're not going anywhere. I mean, I saw earlier even today that this marks the 21st loss of 2023. Like they've lost 21 games. There has been 20 games played for Manchester United. They've lost 9 of them. Um, like it's insane. And what's left to say about Anthony that hasn't already been said? He is floated as one of the worst signings ever made by a Premier League team. I think honestly only rivaled by maybe Eden Hazard, but he's probably done even more at Real Madrid. But that was also a mess. I mean, he ended up with this year, the year of our Lord, 2023. He ended up with 1 goal in 33 Premier League games. So it's a mess. It really is. It's a mess. I think they got covered up a little bit they covered up some of the warts with that win against Aston Villa. And I think all of the fans were expecting that this was going to be the turnaround, that this was going to be the time that they flipped the season, that they flipped the script, and in the beginning of it's the end of the year. This is the last game of the year, and I think to end on a loss versus a Nottingham Forest team that is, in a relegation fight, but then they had beaten previously Aston Villa, who is looking at top four potential, I think just speaks everything you need to know about this Manchester United side. Again, I have the stats that we kind of talked about here. 9 PL losses this season, 21 in all competitions for the year. Anthony's taken off, so that Anthony won. This one's insane. Luton have now scored more goals than Manchester United in the Premier League season. Luton Town. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely insane. And again, I hear the match ratings. And again, the creme de la creme, the best thing. I think Anthony, who they could use? You know what kind of player that they can use? That their front, whoever they put up front, Manchester United does absolutely nothing. The goal came off of Matt Turner absolutely giving it away. And, again, well taken by Rashford. Good for him. But it was a gift from Matt Turner. But you know who they could use? A guy like Anthony Elanga. And he's already on 10 goals and assists. I think it's 6 assists, 4 goals. Boy, a team like Manchester United could sure use him. Oh, wait, that's where he came from, to Nottingham Forest. And, I think I saw an interview where he said it was personal for him. I mean, of course it's personal. This is a team that is struggling, that they could have used a player of your talent and your caliber, and they shipped you off. But I gotta say that the goals that came against Manchester United, obviously that first Dominguez goal, it came off of. Now I see why Varane doesn't play. The whole back four was playing an offside trap, except for Varane, who followed Chris Wood, and so he left him onside, and it leaves Johnny Evans. How old is he? Like 40, 45? I mean, he doesn't have legs. He's not going to be able to cover that. And he was completely alone on the top of the box, and just buries it. And then the same was for the second goal as well, where they came off of a counterattack. Matt Turner, gets a good block. It was kind of going against his foot, so he did It wasn't like a crazy amazing save, but it was a good reaction, good block, and then hit the counter. And then Elanga, fittingly, is the guy that kind of goes, draws two players. Visaka just runs by Moore Gibbs White, and he goes back to cover. And Johnny Evans is in no man's land, while Varane is, I believe he was with Chris Wood again. And they just leave completely open. I mean, Moore Gibbs White could absolutely pick his spot. He does, and he buries it, and he uses, and he just curls it. And Onana, I mean, to be fair, that was to give a Premier League player, a wide open shot. You know, it's just going to be really difficult. It's the roller coaster that continues, and I don't know if Ten Hag, I mean, he's going to make the year. I think he's going to make the year because of the situation going on with Manchester United, where they're like in between owner and ownership investment, that they're turning sports decisions to Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe. You know, they're stuck in between this no man's land, and I think that's the only saving grace that Aaron Ten Hag has. But I think he would have been auditioning for a job. Like he's got a new boss, and you know, you have a new boss come in. You know, your job, your company brings in a new boss. Unfortunately, the reality of the situation, even for me and you, is you kind of got to audition, right? You're like, hey, this is me, because it's a clean slate. Hey, this is me. This is what I do. And Ten Hag is definitely not making the most of that situation. I think it's going to be terrible. And the worst part about it is, I think for fans is, you know, here's his presser, disappointing loss. You know, he talks about things like, you know, they were unlucky, or he feels like they brought the energy the first half, and they against Aston Villa, maybe not so much this game, and they deserved more, and they created chances. Maybe I need glasses. I'm not a Premier League manager, but it doesn't look that way to me. It doesn't look like they're going to score. Their forwards have been absolutely awful. Like, I have no idea where he's getting these ideas from. I don't know if it's delusion. You know, because he's supposed to be this, like, with the whole Jadon Sancho situation, with the whole Cristiano Ronaldo situation, with the whole even Varane, that he was not playing and not in the squad for some reason. He's known as this, like, this disciplined guy, and he's known as this tough, harsh facts, like, not good enough, you know, bring it up, you know, drill sergeant type of guy, and I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it in the presser, because it's weird. He then goes on in the presser when they lost, when they play like nothing, when they get outplayed, and he's just like, we deserved more, and we had chances, and we did X, Y, and Z, and it's just like, what were you watching? Because from when I saw it, and again, they did have a spell. Like, it's not like they didn't have a spell, but for you to take that, you know, that 10-15 that they had where they did tie it, you know, not because of their beautiful play, but they did tie it. And then, obviously, they did get hit on the counter. It wasn't like they were generating these clear-cut chances that, boy, they should have won this. Not at all. And then, again, you have the managers going after and just being like, oh, man, we deserve more. You know, it just, as a player, does it give you this entitlement of like, yeah, we saw putrid performance. The manager, however, is saying, you know, we did good, we should have won. Does it confuse the player? Does it give them the message? Does it send the wrong message? Like, well, we did enough. We just got a bit unlucky, you know? And if we keep playing this way, it'll turn around. No, it's not. You need a complete overhaul. Like, they're weird because they play like this relegation side that is expecting the other team to dominate possession, and they're going to hit them on the counter, is what you expect teams that are in relegation, is what you expect from Luton Town, from Burnley, from different teams like that. And it's sad to see that it's what Manchester United are playing like. And that's the only thing that I can think of that they get results off of the big teams, but not off of the smaller teams, is that they play like a small team. And it's insane that we're talking about this like this about Manchester United, a once proud and historied club. Obviously they still have the history, but it's a shame. It's a shame. And more Gibbs White. There's a couple of informations that were great. Again, here's what I was talking about, where Varane just breaks. You see, they obviously have the offside trap here, and he would have been offsides if it wasn't for Varane. So again, it's like, is it a miscommunication thing? Is that why Varane was not? Because he doesn't really get the high line quite well. But just kind of lazy overall defending. You can't leave. Dominguez was wide open in their box. Do they just not have the legs? Like, they're playing Johnny Evans, and the only hope they can have is to play the offsides line. But when it doesn't work, they are completely cooked. I don't know. There's lots of things that could be going on. And again, the only reason why Ten Hag has a job, I think, is because they're in between that ownership structure. So we'll see. I think Manchester United have to be, if you're a fan, it's got to be the biggest nightmare, though. It has to be the biggest nightmare. The position of Nottingham Forest is 15th, and the position of Manchester United is 7th. It's a shame. It's a shame what has happened. I don't care. Ten Hag said that Liverpool and Man City's era was over. I would say sign him to a 30-year contract if you can, please. But they just need to get more serious. They need to get more serious. I think it is true that this squad is so weird and top-heavy, and they have a lot of injuries, but they just are not playing good football right now.